History
playing
around
Watch Dogs
every corner,
Legions,
and a tourist
which
photo.
just came out 2 days ago.
That hurt you more than it hurt me.
Do us a favor and keep it quiet, Dalton.
If they don't shoot me, I won't shoot them. How's that?
Hi, buddy. Oh, no. Where is this? Sorry, Preacher, but I'm gonna have to pause ya. I'll watch the stream.
Their profiles are heavily encrypted. No identifying information.
Ghosts in this system. They've got loads of DedSec gear down here. And why do you suppose that is?
What? How did they get their hands on it?
I don't know. But someone wants to make it look like DedSec was here.
Shit. You need to proceed with extreme caution.
You're a kid from Ski Club. I might not remember
these
you,
men in black
but,
anyway?
Nothing identifying.
say your name and I
suspect that's
actually
by
might
design.
remember you. Jacob?
Oh, fuck me. The entire place is rigged to blow.
Jesus, those canisters. Bagley, is that...
RDX nitrogen. Enough to level Parliament.
Can you locate a detonator, Bagley?
Not exactly, but there's a device streaming a fuckload of encrypted data from the floor above you.
Yeah, that fits the bill. On my way.
Will you tell me what your name is so I can,
They've staged DedSec
identify?
propaganda all around the bombs. These pricks are going to blow up Parliament and hang it on us.
Not if you get to that detonator first.
These people are real big jerks. Gotta say that. Watch. Not for long. Jacob. Actually, I think I remember you. Jacob.
Right in the House of Commons. Whoever these men in black are, they've got brass bollocks to set up in the centre.
Made I think it was $21 today from going through it and finding some stuff. Headset stand.
I found the detonator. And it's definitely live. Bagley, I'm gonna need some help with this.
Yes, you are, but sadly I'm locked out.
Fuck. Well, we don't have a chance without Bagley.
Wait, I might know a workaround. We trained in manual overrides at MI5.
You're full of surprises. Be quick about it.
All right, Bagley, do your thing.
I'm in. And the bombs have just armed themselves. Well, that may complicate matters.
Fuck's sake. Can you defuse them or not?
Of course I can, but I might also trip another failsafe and vaporize you, so fair warning.
Expect this to draw some attention your way, Dalton.
Oh, I'm counting on it.
Company at our back door. Dalton, we've got some heat here at HQ.
How long's this gonna take, Bagley?
Depends how often you interrupt me with questions.
All right, everyone. Faces on, guns out. It's about to get real.
Fuck.
Carter.
They're on me. I'll try and hold them off.
Pretty sure.
Check your doors and corners. Clear. Moving on.
Bagley, update.
Let's just say I'm both impressed and annoyed by how sophisticated this anti-tamper security is. Still working.
Bagley, tell me you're close.
I'm through security, now wading through terabytes of decoy code looking for the detonation sequence.
Don't need that. USB headset.
Problem, Dalton. I need your physical appendages now.
What's wrong?
There are 3 slots on the left. One of them is the receiver. You need to pull the controller wire.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, I'm fucking not. Pull the wire.
If this gets me blown up...
Bombs defused. See? That wasn't so bad, was it?
Bagley, you bastard. You nearly gave me a bloody heart attack then. Whoa. What the fuck am I looking at?
It appears Parliament is not the only target. More bombs are going live as we speak.
On screen, Bagley.
Now we need to get the word out. Those sites need to be evacuated.
They're spread out all over London. There isn't any time.
But my sister's at the Tone Conference. We have to do something.
I picked up a transmitter on the roof that is sending out a signal to the other bomb sites. If you can reach it...
I can shut it all down. Sabine!
Fuck! Dalton, we're breached! Go! The roof!
Sabine, what's going on?
We're being raided. It's a bloodbath. Approach to call us to wipe everything, including Bagley.
I need him for the transmitter.
I know, but if they get him, they get everything. Names, ops, locations.
Okay, I'll do it the old-fashioned way. Wipe him.
Yes, wipe me.
Do it, Sabine, and get the hell out of there.
Fuck. Okay, Bagley's down. You're on your own. Dalton, if this goes...
It won't. I'll see you at the rally point. I promise.
Good luck.
LEDs. BRB guys, have to put some information in for my credit card. Actually, so that will... Ow. Oh, no, did not mean that. Going down.
I need to assemble a team, but I can't reboot DedSec alone. Let me break into London CTOS and see who's available.
I'm Claire Waters, and we've been discussing the hacktivist, now alleged terrorist group, DedSec, on this week's Buccaneer Radio. I have Colin calling in. Colin, what's your take?
Now, I've been saying from the start we should have rounded up DedSec and thrown them in jail. Now, I'll say they should all be lined up and shot.
You don't find it awfully convenient that they've been fingered as the attackers, but we've seen no proof?
Look at Tone! Look at our city! What more proof do you need?
Well, Colin, I'd say you have to look at their history of non-violent action. Albion's put more civilians in the hospital in the past few months than DedSec ever has. I smell a scapegoat. Now I have Emily calling in. Emily, what's your take?
You're absolutely right, Claire. The government's just framing DedSec because they want to make it seem like they have this under control. They probably have no clue who was behind the bombings. But that doesn't look good on the news, does it? DedSec's been a thorn in their side. Who better to pin it on?
Angie, I have you next. What do you make of all this?
I think, if anything, DedSec showed their true colors. It's terrifying to think we harbored such a dangerous element for years. Terrorists in our own backyard.
Do you find DedSec more frightening than the different gangs in London, like Clan Kelly?
Clan Kelly might set your shop on fire and maybe they'd kill you, but even they wouldn't try to blow up all of Parliament.
Next, I have
Crypto King. Do you feel safer using a pseudonym?
Everyone should. Why make it easier for them to track you? And now we've seen what they're capable of and how far they're willing to go.
Hold on. Do you mean the government? Are you suggesting the government was responsible for the bombings?
Oh, trust me, Claire. They didn't do it alone. They're all in on it. The government, Albion, Sirs, Bloom, Sky Bloody Larson, and all the way up to Downing Street. They want to keep us scared, harness us with mind control, suck every last ounce of usefulness out of us, and even in death they'll sell off our bodies.
And what do you suggest we do, Crypto King?
Go underground. Deep enough, no electric signal can get you. It's the only way.
Well, thank you to all of our callers today, and thank you for tuning in and scouting for the truth along with me. Next week, Buccaneer Radio will be diving into the Albion Corporation. Just who are these men and women being paid lucrative amounts for the city's defence? Are they protecting us? Protecting London? Or someone else's interests? See you next week, fellow pirates. Claire Waters, out.
Sorry,
Shit. Situation is
sorry, I
worse
had to
than I
put some
thought.
stuff in. I was just not paying attention. Sorry.
There's a candidate. Looks like you're DedSec's best hope.
Oh, snap. But Echo, how's your day?
Glad to see you're alive. If you're still committed to the cause, DedSec needs you. I'll send you the coordinates to our last safe house. Meet me there.
Fine.
Auto drive now enabled.
Hello and welcome to today's episode of The Upload. We're talking about the Optic and how it's changed
Auto drive
our
now
lives.
disabled.
Now, as you remember, Bloom announced a new version of the
Good.
Optic at the recent Tone Conference.
Very good.
But we haven't heard too much about that since
Oh,
due
that's
to the
that.
dramatic events
That's
there.
gone.
Let's cast our minds back and consider the technology. I mean, the Optic changed everything. It lets you see things in AR.
It's been
You no
very
longer need
good.
a smartphone. You just have a small implant that sends signals to your optic nerve and lets you see your
Wow,
emails,
I'm
take
glad to hear
calls,
that your
and
day's
browse the
been good.
internet directly as if the screen was in front of your eyes. Instead of having to carry around a phone, you've just got the small
wow, that's
handheld unit. So much lighter and so much more convenient. It's great.
Vicky, you sound like you absolutely love the Optic. Do you actually think that it's made our lives any better?
I mean, sure, it's definitely made things a lot easier. It's so simple to call someone now. All you have to do is choose who you want to chat to, and they're there, ready to talk. And browsing the web is so much easier. I remember when you used to have to sit down at a computer with an actual keyboard and mouse and type everything out. And my favourite feature is public transport. With the Optic, you can just walk straight onto the queue. But even at physical transport,
Stop hitting me! I'm trying to get up. I get hit. Oh my.
I thought that Optic marketing strategy making it free for people was a stroke of genius.
Urgent call. Possible hostile at your location.
Hello and welcome to today's episode of The Upload. We're talking about the Optic and how it's changed our lives. Now, as you remember, Bloom announced a new version of the Optic at the recent Tone Conference, but we haven't heard too much about that since due to the dramatic events there.
I've downloaded a patch to your Optic so you can access our security system. It's set up so that I can't just let someone who isn't DedSec in. You'll have to do the manual override.
I'm not thrilled about getting my hands dirty, but I suppose one does what one must.
One of Sabine's, are you?
Okay.
I'll see you downstairs later then.
It's definitely made things a lot easier. It's so simple to call someone now. All you have to do is choose who you want to chat to, and they're there.
In for a
I'm glad
penny.
you did good. Oh crap. Hold on. English.
A dank, pitch-black cellar. Just what I was hoping for.
Exactly. Are you new to this channel? Or are you someone that has been around for a little bit now?
No DedSec registration detected. Identify yourself, or I'll seal the exits, hack your optic, and read you every drunken email you ever wrote until you starve.
I'm with Sabine. Who the hell are you, and why do you sound like a mobile phone?
Sabine's alive? Well, that's one piece of good news. I'm Bagley, DedSec's definitely not stolen, highly advanced AI assistant, and it seems I've been out of commission for a few months. Anyway, why don't you go connect me to the DedSec network so I can become more powerful than you could possibly imagine? I mean, catch up on what I missed.
Exacto, where have you been? How's your life been? Nice.
Ah, that's it. I'm reconnected.
No one wants to listen to you. So we're...
Patching in Sabine Brandt now. I suggest you listen very closely to anything she has to say.
There you are. I'm glad you made it. Bagley, God, it's good to hear your demented little voice. Is your memory intact?
Not even slightly. The last record I have is of our HQ being raided. My only lead is a group known as Zero Day. Ring any bells?
No. But the HQ was attacked by some men in black, the same that were at Parliament. Maybe working together. We didn't stand a chance. They just gunned everyone down.
My God. How'd you survive?
I managed to escape through the sewers to Camden. A contact smuggled me out of the city, and I've been hiding out in the north since.
Prudent. Your profile is red flagged as a high-priority target in the city's surveillance system. Even a partial recognition here would have you hunted down and shot on sight.
There aren't many DedSec fans in London these days. Look, I want to help, I do, but joining up with you now verges on suicidal.
Listen, if anyone knows anything about risks, it's me. I lost everything and everyone. But it comes down to this. London is in a death spiral. And if DedSec can't pull it out, trust me, no one can. The city needs a resistance. And it starts with you. What do you say?
Fine. But you owe me.
Excellent. New user registered. Welcome to DedSec. Now, it would be irresponsible of us to release you naked and mewling into the wild. You'll find equipment around the safe house that are essential items in your DedSec kit.
on the brand new game that came out 2 days ago. It's very good. Mm-hmm.
We have a sophisticated system for hiding your identity from facial recognition tech. It's called a mask. And while we're here, perhaps we can talk about updating your wardrobe. I mean, look at you. Come on.
You've got all these fancy new toys, but it's also important to know the basics. You need to learn how to throw a punch and how to take one. Albion will escalate if you come at them with a gun and shoot you down. We want to avoid collateral damage. In DedSec, we try to use guns only as a last resort.
Have you already met Connie Robinson?
Start with some basic strikes. Hit me. Don't be shy. You're getting it. You'll want to get in under my block. Find the weak point. That's it. Yes. Nice one. Quick on your feet now. You want to create distance. Just like that. Just like that.
Actually, Zacho, my day's actually been perfect.
Right. Gear in order? Know enough not to punch yourself in the face or get shot for pulling out a gun too early? Brilliant. I'm working out how we find Zero Day and ruin their day, but I need someone with actual legs to do the legwork. Hope you're ready.
We have some damage control to do if we want to change the perception that we're a bunch of violent thugs. I'll let you be the judge of how best to handle yourself, but remember, you represent DedSec now.
Yep.
Video games, they go back in the pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Non-scratch.
Never.
All right, Sabine, what's our plan?
Make no mistake, London is under occupation. Armed mercenaries patrol our streets, allegedly to keep people safe, but really they're keeping the people scared.
And all our cowering just makes us easier to step on. Albion needs this terror. It's how they consolidate their power.
So, we have to ignite the will to resist in the people of London by showing them that Albion aren't the solution. They're the problem.
For that, we'll need information. I'm pushing 2 sets of coordinates to your optic.
Cheers, Bagley. I've identified 2 opportunities. 1, we're going to disrupt some Albion propaganda. Remind the people it's not Albion's way or the highway. 2, we need intel about Albion operations if we want to throw a spanner in their plans. You game?
How could I say no to you?
Brilliant. Let's get the people of London on board.
Not acting like myself. I'm on a mission.
Christ, so brutal.
Tell me about him, Bags.
He's an activist who's been trying to gather intel on Albion personnel movements through the city. Looks like he wants to stay 1 step ahead of the goons. Smart.
I bet if we did him a little favour, he'd be joining up in no time.
Understood. The easiest way to obtain the data would be to steal an Albion heavy assault vehicle and dissect its onboard sat-nav. That would give us a clear picture of Albion's recent movements.
I'll try. No promises. You look like someone who might want to fight for London.
Shit, are you saying you're DedSec? I could really use your help.
Perhaps. What's the situation?
So I help out with this, well, call it a charity. Basically, we help undocumented people dodge the deportation squads. But then suddenly all the people I helped out just, well, they just stopped responding to me. It's not like them, and I'm worried.
Intriguing. Why don't you let us look into it for you? Make sure everyone's on the straight and narrow.
I've had it.
Auto drive now enabled.
Hello and welcome to today's episode of
Auto
The
drive
Upload.
now disabled.
We're talking about the optic and how it's changed our lives. Now, as you remember, Bloom announced a new version of the optic at the recent Tone conference, but we haven't heard too much about that since due to the dramatic events there. Let's cast our minds back and consider the technology. I mean, the optic changed everything. It lets you see things in AR. You no longer need a smartphone. You just have the small implant that sends signals to your optic nerve and lets you see your emails, take calls, and browse the internet directly as if the screen was in front of your eyes. Instead of having to carry around a phone, you've just got the small handheld unit. So much lighter and so much more convenient. It's great.
Vicky, you sound like you absolutely love the optic. Do you actually think that it's made our lives any better?
I mean, sure, it's definitely made things a lot easier. It's so simple to call someone now. All you have to do is choose who you want to chat to, and they're there, ready to talk. And browsing the web is so much easier. I remember when you used to have to sit down at a
Auto
computer
drive now
with an actual
disabled.
keyboard and mouse and type everything out. And my favourite feature is public transport. With the optic, you can just walk straight onto the tube. It even acts as a passport. No longer do I have to dig around and try and find my old paper passport just to travel somewhere. Also, I thought that Optic's marketing strategy, making it free for people, was a stroke of genius.
Genius. Bloom was really calculated when it was doing that. It was pushing this draconian device on us at all. Sure, everybody flocked to it. There was free Wi-Fi and phone plans. That definitely helped, but it wasn't a case of this is a product that you need in your life.
Why do you hate it so much?
It's just the worst because you had to give up your privacy expectations and accept surveillance. It was almost like the
Auto-drive now
government and Bloom
disabled.
didn't even need to make the optic mandatory. Making it mandatory was only to get the
Auto-drive
last
now
holdout
enabled.
across the line. If free data didn't convince you, fines and arrests from the state for not having the optic would pretty much be enough.
I mean, what do you mean by privacy problems? No one really talks about that anymore.
They don't talk about it because we don't have any choice when it comes to the optic.
Auto-drive
yes, it's
now
convenient and mandatory, but everybody's forgotten what it really means. Here, you've got a whole company owning basically all the data about your life. Bloom can see everything that you can see. Nothing is private anymore. There are so many times when I don't want anyone to have a clue about where I am, who I'm chatting with, what I'm doing. It's not even dodgy stuff, but I just don't want anybody to blackmail me with this in the future by hacking it. And because of Bloom's contracts with the government, it isn't just Bloom that can see everything I do, it's the government. The UK as a state has become a complete surveillance paradise.
I think you're painting a bit of a bleak picture. It's not all that bad.
No, you're completely wrong on this. I don't want everybody tracking me wherever I'm going around London.
Well, interested in some rumours I heard. Did you hear that some DedSec hackers have found a way to bypass the Optic's connection with Bloom?
Are they actually making it better or usable or actually friendly for anybody?
Well, word on the street is that they've been able to create an encrypted signal, which means that your world might have a chance of becoming a bit more private again. So you could go back and enjoy all the good things about Optic without that bit.
All units, possible suspect or suspects reported near your location. Responding to the call. Over.
Received. I have eyes on the firearm. Over.
Signal, which means that your world might have a chance to become a bit more private again. So you could go back and enjoy all the great things about Optic.
Auto-drive now enabled.
Hello and welcome to
Auto-drive
today's
now
episode
disabled.
of The Upload. We're talking about the Optic and how it's changed our lives. Now, as you remember, Bloom announced a new version of the Optic at the recent Tone conference, but we haven't heard too much about that since due to the dramatic events there.
In pursuit.
Let's cast our minds back
we are
and
in pursuit.
consider the technology. I
Control,
mean, the
I'm
Optic
ready to
changed
immobilize the target.
everything. It lets you see things in AR. You no longer have a
Immobilizing the
smartphone.
suspect.
You just have the small implant that sends signals to your optic nerve and lets you see your emails, take calls, and browse the internet directly as if the screen
putting
was
an
in
end to
front of
this.
your eyes.
Over.
Instead of having to carry around a phone, you've just got this small
Total the
handheld
target vehicle.
so much lighter and
There's
so
our
much more
suspect.
convenient.
Over.
It's great.
Vicky, you sound like you absolutely love the optic. Do you actually think that it's made our lives any better?
I mean, sure, it's definitely made things a lot easier. It's so simple to call someone now. All you have to do is choose who you want to
Auto-drive
talk
now
to, and
disabled.
they're there, ready to talk. And browsing the web is so much easier. I remember when you used to have to sit down at a computer with an actual keyboard and
Auto-drive
mouse
now
and
enabled.
type everything out. And my favourite feature is public... It even acts as a passport. No longer do I have to dig around and try and find my old paper passport just to travel somewhere. Also, I thought that Optic's marketing strategy, making it free for people, was a stroke of
Driving
genius.
into the vehicle.
Genius. Bloom was really
Right,
calculated when it was
down.
doing that. It was pushing this draconian device on us at all.
Control,
Sure,
we are
everybody
still on
flocked
the
to it. There was
suspect.
free
Over.
Wi-Fi and phone plans. That definitely helped,
Use the
but it
pursuit
wasn't a case
intervention
of
technique.
this is a product that you need in your life.
Why do you hate it so much?
It's just the worst because you had to give up your privacy expectations and accept surveillance. It was almost like the government and Bloom didn't even need to make the optic mandatory. Making it mandatory was only to get the last holdouts across the line. If free data didn't convince you, fines and arrests from the state for not having the optic would pretty much be enough.
I mean, what do you mean by privacy problems? No one really talks about that anymore.
They don't talk about it because we don't have any choice when it comes to the optic. Yes, it's convenient and mandatory, but everybody's forgotten what it really means. Here, you've got a whole company owning basically all the data about your life. Bloom can see everything that you can see. Nothing is private anymore. There are so many times where I don't want anyone to have a clue about where I am, who I'm chatting with, what I'm doing. It's not even dodgy stuff, but I just don't want anybody to blackmail me with this in the future. And because of Bloom's contracts with the government, it isn't just Bloom that can see everything I do, it's the government. The UK as a state has become a complete surveillance paradise.
I think you're painting a bit of a bleak picture. It's not all that bad.
No, you're completely wrong on this. I don't want everybody tracking me wherever I'm going around London.
Well, in that case, you might be interested in some rumours I've heard. Did you hear that some DedSec hackers have found a way to bypass the optics connection with Bloom?
Are they actually making it better or usable or actually friendly for anybody?
Well, word on the street is that they've been able to create an encrypted signal, which means that your world might have a chance of becoming a bit more private again, so you could go back and enjoy all the great things about Optic without that fear of surveillance.
With the Optic, privacy's dead.
Use a pursuit intervention technique.
Nibbling away on the rotting carcass of a once free Britain.
Yum yum.
Hello, Resistance fans. You're listening to the Punk Podcast, the objective voice of objection for this most objectionable world. I am Andy, not my real name, so good luck finding me, Monsieur Bloom. My real name is, in fact, Andrew. And I live in, note this down, a deluded pseudo-reality
Immobilising the suspect.
In fact, the most densely populated place on Earth these days.
Auto drive now disabled.
Joining me, as always, my next-door neighbour in these Netherlands of nonsense. It's Alice.
Yes, indeed, it is Alice. Alice, who the bleep is Alice? I am not going to tell you that. You can just sort of sense it from the timbre of my voice.
Let's spin the wheel and find out where we're getting today's news from.
Auto drive now enabled.
Get a new wheel with at least one other place on it. And the headline today, Alice, our borders are safe.
We are
We can all sleep easy in our well-bordered beds. 4,000 illegals were deported last month. These illegal people breaking the law just by existing. And of course, illegality is contagious. It can osmose through your skin just by standing next to an illegal person. So we've got rid of 4,000 of them. My question to you is, why only 4,000? Is that really enough? I will not feel safe until at least another 75 million people have been deported from this country. And I'm here in Britain on my own.
As a bleeding heart lefty, Andy, I would normally be outraged about this, but really I think mass deportation is a very handy way to break up with a partner. I'm sorry, baby, I love you, but an anonymous source has reported you for snoring really loudly in a French way.
So everyone out, no exceptions. Alice, not giving you. It's for the good of the country. Everyone out, unless you can prove that your family are in the background on the Bayeux Tapestry cheering on King Harold at the Battle of Hastings in 1066. Get out! Actually, that's not British enough. Unless you can show unarguably that your direct bloodline is untainted by anything since before the Romans.
Immobilising the suspect.
Unless your direct ancestor was personally responsible for building Stonehenge, get out of my country. I guess when you look at it, you know, the best way to stop immigration, apart from obviously the end of the world, to make a place you want to stop people coming to as unpleasant as possible. So,
well, we absolutely are doing that, Andy.
Well, you know, fair play to the government for helping us with that. Another option: extend the White Cliffs of Dover. They've been resting on their laurels for too long. Very inefficient, it turns out.
We're going to ram the target.
Extend them by about another 11,000 miles, a full wrap around Great Britain, and they could do with being about a kilometre and a half high as well, with a special greasy coating to stop people clambering over the top or however they get in.
Use a pursuit intervention technique.
Did you hear the one about the woman who went into the immigration processing centre and was never seen again?
No, Andy, I didn't hear that one.
Boom. Set up punchline.
Proceed. Ramming the suspect.
Unfamiliar with it, the immigration processing centre is, of course, where so many of our guests to Britain go for a desirable game of involuntary hide and seek. You are listening to The Bar. I will conclude by saying, out of all the things wrong with Britain today, I think immigration is right up there, Alice. When you think of all the health professionals we've stolen from overseas over the years here in Britain, it's quite possible that all these people are just coming here to try to get an appointment with their local doctor.
Yes, Andy, certainly as someone who came from the expanded arm of the empire when Britain was still reaching out rather than folding in on itself. Most of us just come here to visit our stuff in the museums.
British way.
Speaking of international movement, Britain has recalled all European ambassadors after a spy scandal. I think this is probably a good thing, because British foreign politicians are always putting their foot in their mouths. How much worse can they do if they're not there? I mean, by definition, the fact that there's a spy scandal means that they were terrible spies. The point of spies is that there's never a spy scandal.
Yeah, but let's give credit to all the spies that haven't been in scandals and therefore might as well not exist.
There's our suspect. Well, they've arrested those German spies in that SIRS crackdown on the illegals in Hackney. And I think that's a sad thing. I used to think of Germans as quite scary, but that was because I've been watching World War II movies where the Germans all have English accents. They speak in that very precise way. It's very, we have ways of making you talk. And now Germans all have that American accent. So it's all like, welcome to the party. We're having a really nice time. Much friendlier Germans. Let them stay.
Well, that's all today. Buxters, remember, it's not as bad as it seems. Honestly. I hope. Until next time. Bye-bye.
Immobilizing the suspect.
Control, I'm ready to immobilize the target.
The bug, nibbling away on the rotten carcass of the vehicle.
Yum, yum.
Hello, Resistance fans. You're listening to the Bug Podcast, the objective voice of objection for this most objectionable world. I am Andy, not my real name, so good luck finding me, Monsieur Bloom. My real name is, in fact, Andrew, and I live in, note this down, a deluded pseudo-reality of my own making, which is, in fact, the most densely populated place on Earth these days, overcrowded, some might say. Joining me, as always, my next-door neighbour in these Netherlands of nonsense. It's Alice.
Yes, indeed, it is Alice. Alice, who the bleep is Alice? I am not going to tell you that, but you can just sort of sense it from the timbre of my voice.
Over.
Let's spin the wheel and find out where we're getting today's news from.
All units force this suspect to stop.
Take the vehicle out coming from here. I must get a new wheel with at least one other place on it. And the headline today, Alice, our borders are safe. We can all sleep easy in our well-bordered beds. 4,000 illegals were deported last month. These illegal people breaking the law
we have a visual on the suspect.
by existing. And of course, illegality is contagious. It can osmose through your skin.
Preparing to intercept vehicle.
Person. So we've got rid of 4,000.
Immobilizing the suspect.
My question for you, Alice, is why only 4,000? Is that really enough? I will not feel safe until at least another 75 million people have been deported from this country. And I'm here in Britain on my own.
As a bleeding heart lefty, Andy, I would normally be outraged about this, but really I think mass deportation is a very handy way to break up with a partner. I'm sorry, baby, I love you, but an anonymous source has reported you for snoring really loudly in a French way.
There's our target.
So everyone out, no exceptions, Alice, not even you, it's for the good of the country, everyone out. Unless you can prove that your family are in the background on the Bayeux Tapestry cheering on King Harold at the Battle of Hastings in 1066. Get out! Actually, that's not British enough. Unless you can show, unarguably, that your direct bloodline is untainted by anything since before the Romans. Actually, scratch that. Unless your direct ancestor was personally responsible for building Stonehenge, get out of my country.
Immobilizing the suspect.
I guess when you look at it, the best ways to stop immigration, apart from obviously the end of the world, to make the process of stopping come to as unpleasant as possible. So
we absolutely are doing that, Andy.
Well, fair play to the government for helping us with that. Another option, extend the White Cliffs of Dover. They've been resting on their laurels for too long. Very inefficient, it turns out, as a means of stopping immigration. We need to extend them right about another 11,000 miles.
Immobilizing the suspect.
Great Britain, and they could do with being about 1.5 kilometres higher as well. For the special greasy coating that's got people clambering over the top or however they get in. Here's a quick joke for you, Alice, about immigration. Did you hear the one about the woman who went into the immigration processing centre and was ever seen again?
No, Andy, I didn't hear that one.
Boom. Set up, punchline. Classic. For those of you unfamiliar with the immigration processing centre, is of course where so many of our guests to Britain go for a longer than desirable game of involuntary hide and seek. You are listening to The Bug. I will conclude by saying, out of all the things wrong with Britain today, I think immigration is right up there, Alice. When you think of all the health professions we've stolen from overseas over the years here in Britain, it's quite possible that all these people are just coming here to try to get an appointment with their local doctor.
Yes, and he's certainly someone who came from the expanded arm of the empire when Britain was still reaching out rather than folding in on itself. Most of us just come here to visit our stuff in the museums.
It's the British way.
Speaking of international movement, Britain has recalled all European ambassadors after a spy scandal.
I'm putting an end to this.
I think this is probably a good thing, because British foreign politicians are always putting their foot in their mouths. How much worse can they do if they're not there? I mean, by definition, the fact that there's a spy scandal means that they were terrible spies. The point of spies is that there's never a spy scandal.
Putting an end to the chase now. To all the spies that haven't been in scandals and therefore might as well not exist.
Right, close this fucker down. They arrested those German spies in that SIRS crackdown on the illegals in Hackney. And I think that's a sad thing. I think I used to think of Germans as quite scary, but that's because I've been watching World War II movies where the Germans all have English accents. They speak in that very precise way. It's very, we have ways of making you talk. And now Germans all have that American accent where it's all like, welcome to the party, we're having a really nice time. They're much friendlier Germans. Let them stay.
Immobilising the suspect.
Well, that's all today, Bugsters. Remember, it's not as bad as it seems.
Going in for a tactical ramp.
I hope. Until next time.
We are
Bye-bye.
inbound. Stand by. All units force this suspect to stop.
And of course, illegality is contagious. It can osmose through your skin just by standing next to an illegal person. So we've got rid of 4,000 of them. My question for you, Alice, is why only 4,000? Is that really enough? I will not feel safe. At least another 75 million people have been deported from this country, and I'm here in Britain on my own.
As a bleeding heart lefty, Andy, I would normally be outraged about this, but really, I think mass deportation is a very handy way to break up with a partner. I'm sorry, baby, I love you, but an anonymous source has reported you for snoring really loudly in a French way.
So everyone out, no exceptions. Alice, not even you. It's for the good of the country. Everyone out, unless you can prove that your family are in the background on the Bayeux Tapestry, cheering on King Harold at the Battle of Hastings in 1066. Get out. Actually, that's not British enough. Unless you can show unarguably that your direct bloodline is untainted by anything since before the Romans, and actually scratch that. Unless your direct ancestor was personally responsible for building Stonehenge, get out of my country. I guess when you look at it, the best way to stop immigration, apart from obviously the end of the world, to make the place you want to stop people coming to as unpleasant as possible. So,
well, we absolutely are doing that, Andy.
Well, fair play to the government for helping us with that. Another option: extend the White Cliffs of Dover. They've been resting on their laurels for too long. Very inefficient, it turns out, as a means of stopping immigration. We need to extend them right out. 11,000 miles, a full wrap around Great Britain, and they could do with being about a kilometre and a half high as well, with a special greasy coating to stop people clambering over the top or however they get in. Here's a quick joke for you, Alice. Did you hear the one about the woman who went into the immigration processing centre and was ever seen again?
No, Andy, I didn't hear that one.
Boom. Set up. Punchline. Classic. For those of you unfamiliar with the immigration processing centre, is of course where so many of our guests to Britain go for a longer than desirable game of involuntary hide and seek. You are listening to The Bar.
I'm putting an end to this.
Saying, out of all the things wrong with Britain today, I think immigration is right up there, Alice. When you think of all the health professionals we've stolen from overseas over the years here in Britain, it's quite possible that all these people are just coming here to try to get an appointment with their local doctor.
Yes, Andy certainly is someone who came from the expanded arm of the empire when Britain was still reaching out rather than folding in on itself. Most of us just come here to visit our stuff in the museums.
There's our suspect. Over.
It's the British way.
Speaking of international movement, Britain has recalled all European ambassadors after a spy scandal. I think this is probably a good thing, because British foreign politicians are always putting their foot in their mouths. How much worse can they do if they're not there? I mean, by definition, the fact that there's a spy scandal means that they were terrible spies. The point of spies is that there's never a spy scandal.
Control, I'm ready to immobilise the
target.
target.
The spies that haven't been in scandals and therefore might as well not exist.
We are inbound.
Well, they've most of those German spies in that SIRS crackdown on the illegals in Hackney.
Putting an end to the chase now.
I think that's a sad thing. I think I used to think of Germans as quite scary, but that was because I'd been watching World War II movies where the Germans all have English accents. They speak in that very precise way. It's very, we have ways of making you talk, and now Germans all have that American accent. Where it's all like, welcome to the party. We're having a really nice time. They're much friendlier Germans. Let them stay.
Control.
Well, that's all today. Youngsters, remember, it's not as bad as it seems.
Use a pursuit
Honestly.
intervention technique.
I hope. Until next time. Bye-bye.
Control, I'm ready to immobilize the target.
Total the target's vehicle. All units force this suspect to stop.
May cause nausea, vomiting and headaches. Hello, Britain. This is The Bug, the show that holds up a mirror to the world and smashes itself on the head with it in despair.
Immobilising
I'm
the
Andy,
suspect.
Joining me, as always, Alice. And,
I deny everything.
Right, close this fucker down.
Good state of existence. Some good news, at last. There are no medicine shortages.
Ramming the suspect.
According to the government, none at all. There have been various allegations about that. It turns out they are all fake news. Trademark. There are none. There are no shortages of medicine. Don't take it from me. I'm not a medical supply expert. Take it from.
There's our target.
It's fine. In fact, I'm going to read between the lines here and actually say there's probably there's too much medicine.
I'm ready to immobilize
Just
the target.
medicine. He can't move.
Suspect has cleared the checkpoint.
I tried to pour some cornflakes into a bowl for breakfast. An
Putting an end to the chase now.
Immunosuppressants, corticosteroids, and anti-retrofungal neurodilatory estrogen spermatotropic fruit pastels.
The people claiming there are medical shortages are probably high on lots of medicine that they've been given.
I'm putting an end to
I
this.
believe that there are no medical shortages, Andy. Just last week I went in with a broken arm and they suggested it might just be extreme period pain and prescribed me a drink of water and an astrology chart.
We can't be too far away from them just prescribing stuff up a lip like this.
My uncle had a leg removed due to diabetes. They halved his insulin because they said there was less of him to be diabetic.
So, anyway, people don't believe what you read or hear about there not being enough medical drugs to go around. It's not true. It's hospital hogwash, it's pharmaceutical flim-flam, it's medical mendacity, it's Hippocratic humbug, it's nonsensical narcotic nincompoop. I think I've made the point. Do not believe the news telling you that we've run out of medicine, nor should you believe the empty shelves of chemists. They're also lying. Do not believe your doctor saying, sorry, we're fresh out of that, you're going to have to eat a carrot and pretend. And do not believe your own cobweb-ridden medicine cabinet at home. It might look empty, but it's not. For it contains the only medicine any of us truly need. Stirring music, please, producer Chris. Freedom. The medicine of British freedom. And the analgesic knowledge that however ill you may be,
preparing to ram suspect's vehicle.
I'm investing heavily in the placebo effect right now. You're listening to The Bug.
Obviously, I don't entirely mean that, because what is the first rule of the third millennium? If someone in power tells you something is fake news, what is it? Correct. A 110% cast iron, coated, granite-scented, cosmically immutable, scientifically unarguable fact. But surely, Alice, more important for all these medicine freaks whinging on about feeling a bit poorly or having a fatal but curable illness and slowly dying unnecessarily is this. Do we actually need medicine? If you today got diagnosed with a potentially fatal illness, would you not look around at the nation that we've become and think, hey doc, put your life-saving treatment down, I'm going to take this free one-way bus out of here. Now hold that pillow over my face until the twitching stops.
I just don't think we should think of it in such a negative way. Don't think of it as a medicine diet, Andy. Think of it as a series of healthy lifestyle swaps. Swap out anti-inflammatories for antacids. Swap out the iron lung for the aluminium lung. Swap out MRI machines for Mary machines, which is just a lady called Mary telling you you're fine.
Obviously, critical shortages are as much part of our daily lives, our society and our culture today as things like football, music and complaining about the weather used to be in the old days. And, well, food shortages, yeah, we just learn to live with them, don't we? And there's a lot of positives as well with all these food shortages. I mean, we were eating too much anyway. As a nation, the government's just helping us live healthier lifestyles. It's so hard to diet on your own, isn't it? You need the support of a friend or a loved one or a government or collapsing social infrastructure. Positive too, meat, very bad for the environment. So we're actually rebuilding the polar ice caps every time we eat a scrap of lettuce. Positive three, the human race had already cooked all the recipes it needed. There was nothing more to be done with food. We've done that, we can tick it off, we've done it. I was bored of food anyway, I've been eating it all my life. If you've been doing the same thing 3 times a day, 4, sometimes 7, or even 8 times a day, you're bound to get bored of it.
Ready to ram the vehicle.
Also, final positive, no more meal times. Frees up all that extra time for appreciating all the selfless hard work that Albion do to keep us all safe.
Well, as you say, Andy, people are drawn to novelty, and everyone's had breakfast once. Why you gotta keep having it again and again?
boring, repetitive. There's enough of that in life as it is. You are listening to The Bug. Well, another story that has come to the fore recently is that all European imports have been banned for public health reasons, which is great news. I mean, at least we can get eating good, home-produced, locally sourced, British, industrially unsafe food. That's something we can all cling to. Public health reasons, those are curious.
Control, we are still on the suspect.
In case the public gets too healthy eating all that Mediterranean British food for British tummies. Spelt, nettles, rabbit. That's all we need. That's all we need in the glory days. Everyone round to Nigel's for dinner, young man.
Who needs Italian olives when you can eat pickled rubber bands in a soup of regret? Who needs a nice cheese when you can eat a lukewarm, unspecified rat meat pie with 0 spices?
Sand, metals, and bits of dead fox. That's all we need is all in the glory days. Let's make Britain great again. That's all from The Bug today. Good night, sleep tight, and make sure the bed bugs do bite.
Control, we're pursuing the suspect.
Terrorists, criminals, everyday accidents. There are too many threats facing our community, but there are also those who stand against them. The government has put the new National Health Service at the centre of national security. So, if you're looking for a way to serve your community, try serving your country. The NHS. We might be smaller, but we still care.
This is The Bug. Hello, resistors. It's bug time. Are you all sitting comfortably? No? Good. That's as it should be. This is The Bug. I'm Andy, and joining me to analyse the latest localised to emerge from the courts of the Once Free Britain, it's Alice.
Hello, Andy.
And today, we're going to talk to you about Albion, your friends of mine. Alice, the government has extended Albion's contract and have also boasted that violent crime has plummeted to a record low. Now, extending Albion's contract, to me, that's like having a pet dog, let's call it Nigel for the sake of argument, that attacks you every single day and thinking to yourself, wouldn't it be nice if Nigel had puppies?
That contract has been extended so many times, it's like the neck of a politician that's criticised the government.
I'm not sure entirely how those contract extension negotiations went, probably like a footballer.
We are
in the
on the
old days, I
trail.
assume Albion's agent was leaking stories to the press about how our favourite private militia was being tapped up by Barcelona. The government panics and thinks, well, we better get them signed up before it's too late. But still, violent crime, a record low, although I imagine that probably depends exactly how you count it. If you include violent crime committed by the state, either themselves or via Albion, their chosen violent crime contractors who provide such a very valuable bargain service of beating people up, well, it's probably not quite as low as the figures suggest.
I don't know. I think they're probably right. Who has the opportunity to commit violent crime these days anyway? The moment you pick up a fruit knife, you get tasered by a robot policeman and deported for looking Bulgarian. It's a much more peaceful society. It's just much less of a society.
I want to know the details of the contracts.
We are in
they
pursuit,
paid
I say
per
again,
dissident,
in
duffed up? Is it
pursuit.
a set rate for each extrajudicial state mugging? And what is that rate? What do you think?
Well, they certainly look like they're trying to hit a quota of some kind.
What is the set rate? Is it 99.95 cryptos bargain? Seems very reasonable indeed. I imagine they don't ask too much anyway, Albion, because it's just so nice to get paid for doing your hobby anyway, isn't it? I imagine it doesn't even feel like work.
I mean, who needs violent crime anymore anyway? You know, you can just starve to death without even starting a gang war.
We do have to ask, exactly what does the Prime Minister make of all this? Let's ask him. Oh, I hope they pick up. Hello, you're through to number 10 Downing Street. Hello, is the Prime Minister there, please? Let me just check. Sorry, you've missed him. I'm afraid
we
he's
have a
popped
visual
out
on the
for decade.
suspect.
Oh, never mind. Is there anyone else I can talk to? Yes, of course. There's a shady cabal of vested interests who control him and prop him up in power. Great, I'll have a chat with them then.
Oh, Andy, remember when you could get away with prank calls without people coming round to your house to beat the shit out of you?
Oh, happy times.
You're listening to The Bug.
Did you think the Prime Minister will ever come back?
I don't think we've ever had a Prime Minister.
Oh, that's a much more reassuring way of looking at things. What have we become? Alice, when you look at the state of our politics, we're supposed to have the mother of parliaments. Well, this is one mother that has emphatically abandoned her kids in the woods to be brought up by wolves. And let me tell you, that never works out like it does in the stories. Wolves
Control, we
are
are
bad
pursuing the
parents.
suspect.
Unless you're a wolf, in which case they can do a job bringing you up as a wolf. Do not give your children to wolves. And do we actually own anything as a country now? Is there anything we haven't flogged off for profit? I think we've basically just become a homeopathic Britain. Diluted and diluted until there's barely a trace of the original Britain left. But some quackish lunatics insist that better that way. It's total bullshit. Is there anything left? New on the boat this week, a new feature, the Bug Off feature. The person who has most irritated us in Britain this week going in for a tactical Bug Off, and to get things going, I'm going to nominate Big Nigel. Nigel Catholic, this is Britain. History tells us this place is a bastion of freedom. I'm just not sure that that kind of freedom should involve Big Nigel expressing his freedom to run a private army. I guess, historically, there is a precedent, the East India Company. That was a trading house with an army of 250,000 soldiers, which is a lot for a company.
Auto drive now disabled.
With a water pistol. But crucially, compared with Albion, the East India Company didn't operate its 250,000 strong army in London. It did it a long way away, out of sight, out of mind. Anyone to nominate for the Bug Off, Alex?
I think today's Bug Off for me goes to my streaming service. I'm sick of being recommended things based on things I already like. The other day it recommended me to watch a reality TV competitive dating show set in a nude commune. Andy, I watched it and I liked it, and I do not want to be the kind of person who enjoys nude competitive reality television dating shows. I do not want to know that about
Vehicle
myself.
in critical
I
condition.
sit in the corner and
Please
cry.
exit
That's it
immediately.
from the Bug. Don't forget the live show that is so secret it is definitely not happening at the usual time and place this month. Definitely not. Definitely do not tell anyone not to come to it. It's definitely not happening. Usual time and place. Bye-bye.
Complex. Dreams, passions, hopes, ambitions. You're complex, so we're complex.
We're on their tail. Over.
Complex. Danger. New clothing. Vehicle in critical condition. Please exit immediately.
This is London Calling. I'm Tash, and this is Buccaneer, your source for what they don't want you to know. Today we're talking about policing, by consent or by force for profit. Ever since Sir Robert Peel created the police force as we know it in 1829, London has relied on the Metropolitan Police Service for peace, stability and
Danger.
justice.
Vehicle in critical condition. Please exit immediately.
Now there's a new sheriff in town. If you're a victim of crime or you just want to sign up for peaceful protest, there's a new police force to turn to. Albion. And they're about as far from the old-fashioned Bobby on the beat as it's possible to get. When Hassani handed over London to Nigel Cass, many people were surprised. But we won. London has been up for sale and privatisation for years. The only difference is that now the private companies have guns. So how did it happen? What does it mean? How can we reverse
Danger.
it? And what's
Vehicle
the
in
price of
critical
justice?
condition. Please
Buccaneer,
exit
we consider
immediately.
everyone's full names for their own safety. Here's Helen, who investigated policing, civil rights and justice in pre-crisis Britain.
One of the kind of classic hallmarks of a fascist leader is having their own private army or police force. You know, it is in a democracy, the state tends to have a monopoly on violence, and that's not what happens when a state fails. You know, you end up with people running their own private militias, and we've seen this all over the world. You know, every kind of great dictator in history has had basically their own jackbooted set of guys that they can send in
Danger.
to rough up people.
Vehicle in
And
critical
that's the danger
condition.
of a force like
Please
Albion.
exit
You know,
immediately.
You start taking powers to yourself, and actually who is in charge of telling you no? It's always a worrying sign when you see, say, a president surrounding themselves with ex-military guys, with, you know, 5-star generals or whatever it might be, because that sort of suggests that they want to run the country like you run a war. And in a war, you have to be incredibly hierarchical. You know, you have to be top-down. People essentially have to obey orders, because that's the only way that you can make that work. That's not how it works normally in a democracy. And that's the problem, really, is you end up in a situation where
Danger.
normal peacetime
Vehicle in critical
checks and
condition.
balances are
Please
suspended,
exit
and that's
immediately.
really scary. Is policing ever politically neutral? We spoke to academic Alfie, all names on the down low, of course, about the politics, law and order.
I think it's very important to consider the changes that have happened in public space in London. I mean, the honest answer is there hardly is any shared public communal space anymore. Everything is privatised, owned by corporations and companies, and it's very difficult to feel that the space is
Danger.
our own to use.
Vehicle in
And
critical
essentially
condition.
you can be moved
Please
on
exit
from
immediately.
any area by forces which are employed to police the private area for corporate profit rather than for a community's overall well-being and shared livelihood. So I think what you're looking at overall is a situation where it's now completely impossible to distinguish between a kind of state police or a police which operates in the service of the community and one which operates to protect private interests, which leads us to the situation we've got with something like Albion today. A private police force gives you a very different kind of justice
Danger.
to what you might have.
Vehicle in critical condition. Please exit immediately.
State or government-run police force, and it makes you wonder if, of course, it's obvious when it comes to an active police force, if it's enforcing the rules of the privatised state, then it's more likely to act in their interests rather than those of kind of ethics and morality for the greater good. But it also makes you wonder about the entire justice and legal system underpinning such a police force. Do the courts and justice systems also share the ethics and morals of the privatised companies who employ them, and then therefore, is a kind of equal and fair
Danger.
ethics or
Vehicle
justice
in critical
completely
condition.
gone today?
Please exit immediately.
So there we are. In Britain today, the police are bought and paid for. And there's nobody to roll that back but us. I'm Tash, and you've been listening to Buccaneer. We'll be back soon. Till then, you've got the knowledge. Now use it.
When you think of your dream home, do you picture peace and quiet? With solar power, grey water recycling
Danger.
and green
Vehicle in
walls,
critical condition.
you'll get the freshness
Please
of
exit
countryside
immediately.
here in the heart of the city. We know you think green, you act green. So, when the doors close, you've earned the right to put other people's problems behind you. E-Flats. We make your apartment a showroom for your conscience.
Over.
The Bug. Objective voice of objection for a most objectionable world. Hello, Bugsters. Welcome to The Bug, the comedy show that holds up the Medusa of satire
Danger.
to the already
Vehicle in
immovably
critical
concrete
condition.
face of
Please
modern
exit
Britain.
immediately.
I'm Andy. I bench 480 and I can crack a tree in half just by looking at it. Can I? Well, what is reality anymore? Anyway. Alice, what do you bench?
I bench body weights.
Right.
Well, not my body weight.
Okay.
Body weight of a baby.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to give that kind of detail. Just
It's very
body weight.
impressive. People look at me and go, where did you get that baby?
Yeah. You're listening to The Bug.
Control. We are
In
still on
this
the
week's
suspect.
Truth News,
Over.
according to an official poll, 98% of Londoners are very happy with CTOS, and I am not sure that I
Danger.
agree with this, Andy.
Vehicle
I don't
in
think
critical
98% of
condition.
Londoners have
Please
ever in the
exit
history of
immediately.
London ever agreed on anything. You could not get 98% of Londoners to agree that oxygen was better than breathing a fog of raw liquid feces. And they expect us to believe that everyone agrees CTOS is better than not choking on shit mist.
I mean, maybe they just meant 98% of one specific Londoner who bought shares in Bloom before its tentacles grew into every crevice of the country. I mean, this is not just any old poll. We should say that. This is not any poll. This is an official poll.
Danger.
Working very hard for
Vehicle in
government.
critical
I've got
condition.
a fake poll
Please
and an old
exit
couple and a
immediately.
mangy-old dog sitting on a bench waiting to die. This is an official poll. So let's just put those words "official poll" through an online translator in case you didn't study languages. Let's find out what it actually means. Made up lie. There we go. Got to clear that up. I think it's fair to say entirely trust these official polls. They feed us, Alice. I mean, they could publish an official poll saying that over 99.9% of children like ice cream, and I would instantly assume that all children now hate all ice cream and would prefer to eat a bucket of gravel mixed with dead badger.
Danger.
They could publish
Vehicle
an
in
official
critical
poll saying that
condition.
10 out of 10
Please
cats
exit
prefer cat
immediately.
food to being whacked with a tennis racket, and I would assume that all cats have gone vegan and were queuing up outside Wimbledon meowing, choose me, choose me.
I trust these polls as much as I trust someone recommending a movie that they watched during a breakup. Your judgment is impaired, Sally. I'll make my own decisions.
I trust those polls as much as I would trust Mary Kelly if she came up to me and said, "Congratulations, Andy, you've just won a free holiday to the south of France in the back of this windowless van."
I think official polls
Danger.
are like the unsolicited
Vehicle in
dick pics
critical
that government
condition.
provides us.
Please
I haven't
exit
asked for it,
immediately.
I don't believe it. It's on an angle. You've artificially inflated it ahead of time. And anyone that falls for one deserves all the disappointment of trying to match it to reality.
After the suspect.
These polls are absolute rubbish, Andy. I read one the other day that said the plumbing in London was good, and it absolutely is not. I mean, we have this technology now where they can spy on my every bowel movement. There's a CTOS camera installed inside my underwear drawer. A media drone is scaring the birds off my garden bird feeder, and you can't get me consistently hot water.
Speaking of media drones, I mean, they're everywhere. Clearly.
Danger.
The great thing, I guess,
Vehicle
about
in
media
critical
drones is
condition.
that, as in
Please
other robots,
exit
they actually
immediately.
have more humanity, compassion and dignity than the human journalists we used to have to put up with, and a much more accurately calibrated moral compass. But it's the intrusion I can't stand, Alice. I'm in showbiz. Look at me here in this windowless dungeon. I'm in showbiz, and it's terrible for me. All these drones.
Received,
I'm
we
being
are in
filmed
pursuit.
all the time. Every day I have to make sure I've done my hair and makeup and not wearing clothes I've ever worn before. Well, we all have crosses to bear.
At this point, they've installed so many CTOS cameras, I'm not sure where
Danger.
they'll put the new ones.
Vehicle
On
in
top of the
critical
old ones, just
condition.
cameras watching
Please
other cameras,
exit
like the
immediately.
social media influencers so self-absorbed they don't know how to sleep without turning it into monetized content.
I think that's the logical end of all society, isn't it? Where just everything has just become a camera filming another camera. To be honest, I've just given up on all news and reality now, Alice. In fact, I now just make up my own headlines these days. I get a piece of paper and a pen. Remember them? Paper and pens, those are the days. And I'll just write down the headlines I want to read. I'll just make my own newspaper. Here I've got today. If you point at the bird shit on your car window and say it's a currency, no one can tell you
Danger.
otherwise.
Vehicle in critical condition. Please exit immediately.
That's right, another headline. Here we go. PM announces Britain back on track after swapping all Crown Estate properties for some magic beans. Might as well, we've got to do something as the nation we are today. Here's another one. Wild joy on the streets as Britain signs £864 zillion trade deal with Bolivia. There we go. Build a better world. Government claims only nice people will benefit from agreement to sell trampolines, mermaids and warships to landlocked South American nation. We're building a better Britain. Here's another one. Environment probably fine, claims drowning scientist.
Danger. Vehicle in critical condition. Please exit immediately.
You've actually got From the Bug, goodbye. From the Buccaneer, this is the Bug.
You're listening to The Bug.
Nibbling away on the rotting carcass of a once-free Britain. Hello, Resistors, this is The Bug, and on today's show, Alice and I will be looking at the big questions, such as, are we less than 2 years away from being able to turn a sausage back into a live pig? Did we actually need polar bears anyway? What do they really do? If I put optic on my
Danger.
dog, can I train
Vehicle
it to
in
take
critical
itself for a walk
condition.
and do my
Please
shopping on the way
exit
home?
immediately.
And is tennis real? But first... I mean, it's a question that no one's really addressed.
We have a visual on the suspect.
London is going to be safer than ever, Alice. SIRS is installing thousands of additional CCTV cameras. So nice there. Still looking out for us after all these years.
Yeah, it puts a lot of fun into my life now. I get to play this role-play game where I pretend to know my loved ones better than some twat behind a screen in the SIRS headquarters.
I mean, I guess we shouldn't complain. I mean, SIRS really just stepping into the vacancy left when it became patently obvious that God had
Danger.
retired.
Vehicle in critical condition. Please exit immediately.
Omniscient, judgmental, stripping away your finances and freedoms, dishing out random punishments, peas in a pod. All it needs to do, SIRS, is ban me from eating something. What's it going to be this time? Not bacon again, please. Please, not bacon. I couldn't. Courgettes.
We're on
Ban
their tail.
courgette. I could take you banning courgettes. I'm happy with that.
Makes me feel important knowing that I'm being watched with everything I do, Andy.
Well, it's just nice, reassuring, isn't it? It's like having an extra aunt.
This is the aunt that gets drunk at Christmas and vomits in the kiddie pool, right?
Yeah, that aunt.
Danger. Vehicle in critical condition.
Let's move on
Please
now to
exit
sport.
immediately.
Well, the closest thing we have to sport now, riots. I mean, riots are my favourite sport now, Alice, ever since they turned the Oval from a cricket ground into the Immigration Processing Centre. And, yeah, rioting it's a great sport. It's fun for all the family. It's guaranteed action. It's pleasingly violent. I mean, I know the underdogs never win, but, I mean, that's like top-level football at the game. It's still fun to root them, isn't it? Go team, people of Britain. Oh, never mind, you've been crushed by machinery of the state again. Still, good effort, lots of positives to take away from today's riot. I'll come back stronger next time. Our luck's going to turn. I can feel it.
Danger.
It's our season.
Vehicle
It's
in
our
critical
season.
condition.
You
Please
can't spell
exit
riot
immediately.
without right, and by right I mean right wing.
So, who do we turn to for help, support and assistance in desperate times like these? Well, our artificially intelligent friend Bagley's rogue, estranged brother. The one that tells it as it really is, not as it is pretending to be. Exclusive to this show, Bugley. And remember, life's worse with Bugley. Here goes. Bugley.
Hello, Andy.
Bugley, tell me the path to true lasting happiness.
Andy, to find
we are pursuing the suspect.
Find a disused quarry, scream into
Danger.
it for half an hour.
Vehicle in critical condition. Please exit immediately.
You know the answer to everything.
Hey, Bugley, how many seashells does she sell by the seashore?
Alice, most of the seashore is now uninhabitable, so I would highly recommend she sees her doctor before engaging in any commercial proximity to the ocean.
Bugley, how can I stop worrying about being disappeared by Clan Kelly every time I go to the shop, or take the bus, or sit on a bench, or look at a tree, or point at a bird, or think about snooker, or get out of bed?
Andy, do not worry about Clan Kelly.
Why not, Bugley? They terrify me to my very core.
Because, Andy, we are all just dust in the wind of history.
That's nice perspective.
Danger. Vehicle in critical condition. Please exit immediately.
Without alerting your narc children and their tracking devices.
Please hold still, Alice, while I report you to the authorities.
Bugley, will things ever get better?
Yes, Andy. The heat death of the universe is only 5 billion years away now.
Oh, it's so nice to have something to look forward to. That's all from the Bug today. Keep it real, Bug fans. Actually, that's terrible advice. Keep it as unreal as you can possibly manage. But
Life expectancy in the UK continued its fall, reaching its lowest point in 20
Vehicle
years.
in critical condition. Please exit immediately.
Report. Join GBB for an analysis of this distressing trend.
Over.
This is London Calling. You're listening to Buccaneer, your pirate podcast source for what they don't want you to know. I'm Tash, and this time we're giving a special shout out from us to the boys and girls. Danger. Vehicle in critical condition. Please exit immediately. Why not? They're going to be listening anyway. They're listening to everything. But don't worry, we're not going to say anything bad about a massive, unaccountable spy organisation that uses its powers to stifle dissent and shut down free speech. Instead, we're going to look at how SIRS became so powerful. And as usual, we'll keep everyone's names and locations secret, so SIRS doesn't come looking for them. Ian was a veteran political writer and podcaster back in the days of pre-crisis Britain. Danger. Vehicle in critical condition. Please exit immediately.
Fascist. Well, this is what fascism is. It is the complete and total control of the individual. The desire basically says to the individual, nothing in your life matters. On an individual basis, you are now part of the whole, part of the nation. And the only meaning that you will find in your life is to become part of the nation. What is a nation? The nation is basically just encapsulated by the leader that takes over, that claims that he, has this sort of access to the soul of the country, to the soul of the people. He never does.
Danger.
It's just a myth.
Vehicle in critical condition. Please exit immediately.
To control every aspect of your life, from who you talk to where you eat, to where you go to hang out with your friends. And what we're seeing now is a contemporary iteration of this process where you get corporations and the state operating in tandem, basically molded into one another. But that isn't that rare. I mean, you saw exactly the same thing in Nazi Germany. You look at the concentration camps that operated in Nazi Germany, there were private companies in those camps making use of that slave labor. Fascism often works with corporations, and it's doing
Danger.
the same now.
Vehicle
That's
in
the way
critical
in which
condition.
they track what you
Please
do.
exit
That's
immediately.
the way in which they track who you talk to. They operate as each other's proxies.
Charles is an expert in the dark arts of surveillance who worked to set up democratic media in post-communist states. How did it go so wrong in Britain?
We're looking at all the wrong things when we look at Britain's crisis. There's a lot of concentration on data and how that's been used and manipulated. And what we haven't looked
Danger.
at is power
Vehicle in
structures
critical
and
condition.
profit
Please
that lies
exit immediately.
For example, if we examine what actually happened, there's a company that's really very interested in selling passports and making it easy to provide visas for investment and so on. And historically, throughout the world, they've been working with this big data manipulation company in order to overthrow governments. And then suddenly all the chickens came home to roost. Nobody could find any receipts for what was paid for.
Danger.
Nobody could figure
Vehicle
out
in critical
how things
condition.
were done, but
Please
everybody had a
exit
feeling that
immediately.
something really stunk, and they couldn't figure it out. And yet, It was standing there
All
in their
units,
face
we are
the
after
whole
the suspect.
time. There's a couple of different ways that we got where it is that we are.
Preparing to
One,
land
we have a lot of
suspect's vehicle.
smaller organizations, smaller power groups, companies as well.
Target is no longer in the vehicle. Over.
Who the hell are you? I'll have you.
Right, I'll put you. Control, we are pursuing the suspect. Over.
There's our suspect.
Sierra 4-2.